welcome back to part 3. We're going to be looking at normal posture here. Now, for normal posture, what you may experience is it feels very unnatural, uncomfortable, but that's completely normal because your body is used to being in a different position. So in some ways, stick with it, and over time, as you get more used to it, that normal posture will become natural or normal to you. So, normal posture. If we look at the body with a plumb line right through it, so from the ear, shoulder, hip, just behind the knee, through the ankle, you could say just in front of the ankle. So that is our normal posture. That's what we're going to be working towards today. So what we have to do, first of all, we have to stand in the correct position. So the first thing we need to do is look at the position of your feet. They need to be roughly hip width apart, pointing directly forward. So if you stand against a wall and do it, they need to be 90 degrees to the wall. They need to be pointing bolt forward or bullet straight forward. So that's the position of the feet. Obviously then we need to bring the chest up, so we need to lift the chest, and we also need to keep the hips in line. Now, how we're going to keep the hips in line is we're going to be tummy tight. That's the first one. So make sure your tummy's in nice and tight. And then the next one, which is going to change the position of your hips, is the buttocks. So now squeeze the buttocks together. Now, when you squeeze the buttocks together, what you may find is your knees turn out. If they don't turn out, the next one is to turn the knees out and screw your feet into the floor. So that's bullet point number 3. So next one, lift chest, shoulders back and down. Now that's a lot to think about to start with, but the main reason we do it in that order is when we get the tummy tight, that gets the lumbar spine stable, which is what the body wants. The highest priority of the body is to make sure the spine is stable. So we bring the tummy in tight first. When we squeeze the buttocks, that can bring our hips into a better position. So you may find your hips tilt backwards. So at the moment, if you're lordotic, you may find that your hips are tilted forwards. When you squeeze your butt muscles or your buttocks, they tend to pull the pelvis backwards and lift the front of the pelvis up. The next bullet point, feet screwed into the floor. So imagine your feet are on plates and you're like a screwdriver, you're screwing them into the floor. What this will do, this will pull the knees out, and this will make the buttocks work that much better. That should be the lower body taken care of. The next bit is just to make sure your chest is lifted. You may find that there's restriction throughout the body as you're doing these, but the chest is lifted, and then gently, don't stick your chest out, but just gently just pull your shoulders back and then push them down into your rib cage. So all of those things together are there to help you come into a better position. Now you may find that there is restriction, you may find that there is tightness, you may find that your body isn't able to go into these positions. If that is the case, then it's just a case of using exercise, using stretching, using movement to be able to open up those joints, and then over time you should find that these little teaching points should become easier. So just to go again, make sure number 1, tummy's tight. So you pull your tummy in, that organizes the spine. What you then do is you squeeze your butt muscles. That can then organize where the position of the hip. You screw the feet into the floor. That will extend on what the hip does, so it will enhance what the hip's doing. It will pull the knees out, and if you have got flat feet, it will lift the arches. Finally, lifting the chest, pulling the shoulders back and down, and then what should happen, your head should go into position and you should find that straight line going through your ear, shoulder, hip, knee and ankle. So hopefully that's been helpful. Do try it, do practice it wherever you are. If you're stood in a queue, if you're sat at your desk, if you stood at your desk, if you stood talking to someone, make sure you're conscious of organizing your body into this position. Okay, many thanks. My name is Chris. I will speak to you in a future video.